For the Cocke County Legislative Body will hold a public hearing, that's tonight at 5:30. So, if in the matter of considering a request to rezone the property at 3380 Cosby Highway from residential residential to general commercial based on the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf or have any information that they need to share with us? Okay, so if no one has anything to say on that, we'll just go ahead and close this meeting, and we'll resume at
Number 2, Mr. Bassett, there's a second one on there.
second.
Yes, sir.
Right here. I didn't read that one yet.
Then I'll give you a long time.
This one right here.
In the matter of considering the zoning map recommendation, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, she gave map recommendation. Is there anybody who would like to speak on that? Okay, so with that being said, we'll adjourn this meeting and we'll resume our regular meeting at 5:45. Thank you. Got y'all ready? Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. Miss Lori Duffy is on the paperwork to speak before the Cocke County CLB. If you would, if you're present, would you step forward, please? Step to the microphone, please. Back in here. Yeah. You know what's her name on?
It says it's on, it's got green on its fingers.
Yeah, the judge been in the
Here's another one.
switch.
What switch?
You go ahead, ma'am, and begin.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I'm Lori Duffy, I live over in Cocke. Here, I left the Cocke school, dropped my kids off at the ball games. Cocke County School are actually starting the ball games today. So I'm not just representing myself, I'm also representing all the families in Cocke County that can't be here because of school schedules and athletic schedules. I know there's some really big decisions being asked of you as a group tonight on the agenda that concern a whole lot of money. I'm here to ask you to please do your due diligence, make sure you understand where money has been going, and make sure you understand where money is going before you approve it. Transparency is the best way to do everything. If nobody has any questions, everybody's on the same page. There's a lot of people in our county that are hurting right now. They've lost everything they own. There's a lot of people in our county that are getting ready to lose everything they own because the businesses aren't here, because the tourist traffic isn't here, because they can't get to their stores to open them, or they don't have things left to sell. This is a long haul. We're 3 weeks past Halloween coming through, and we're looking at months or years to rebuild in our county. So as a parent and a constituent, please, I just ask all of you, please go outside of your comfort zone, spend extra time looking into things, understand exactly what you guys are all doing. If you have questions of your officials, ask them. You are doing the jobs for all of us. And I just think it's really important that things are completely transparent so that we don't have problems like we've had in the past where we know what happened. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So there's no one else on the paperwork to speak, so we'll resume our meeting at 6 o'clock.
All right, Cocke County Legislative Body now in session. Vice Chairman Rick Vasher presiding, Mayor Rob Mathis president.
Ms. Ball, would you give us the honor, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer tonight. Be with us throughout this meeting. Lord, give us the answers that we so seek, and let us do our due diligence for our county and for our communities. We thank you and we love you and we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Hudson, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would just like to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a cell phone, would you care to put it on silent, please? And I would just like to say, I welcome each and every one of you to this CLB meeting, and it's good to see y'all here and to show your support for this beautiful county. So first of all, we'll start off with the roll call this evening.
Andy Ford.
Here.
Bill Miller.
Here.
Caleb Blazer.
Here.
Jason McMahon. Norman Smith. Tracy Stepp.
Here.
Jonathan Timpson.
Here.
Jeff Esslinger.
Here.
Dan Bright.
Here.
Wilma Ball.
Here.
Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdow.
Here.
Tim Lehman.
Here.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. The second thing on the agenda is approval of last month's meeting, the minutes. Do I have a motion to accept? Mr. Esslinger, second, Mr. Kemplin. All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? The next on the agenda is the elections and appointments of the reports of notaries. We have Amber Renee Smith and Zelma Mae Hutz. Do I have a motion to accept? Mr. Hudson?
Bill.
I'm sorry, Mr. Miller.
Okay.
All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? I'm sorry. In the matter of accepting the following quarterly reports, we have the county clerk. The copy is enclosed. Do I hear a motion to accept?
We can do both of those reports.
We can do both, okay? We'll
Yes,
do
sir.
the county clerk and the circuit clerk. So, any discussion? Do I hear a motion to accept? Mr. Burdial? Mr. Esslinger? All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? Okay, there you go. In the matter of accepting any committee reports, the first one's the budget. That's Ms. Heather.
I only have 2 things at this moment, and I just have to preface neither one of these have been through budget committee due to the timing of the budget committee meeting and everything that went happened. We didn't have a budget committee meeting this month. So the first thing I have is in the matter of approving the tax transfers and amendments and waive the reading of the same for the school system. Not reading this one.
Do I hear a motion to accept? Mr. Stepp? Second. Mr. Miller? Do we need to do a roll call on that?
Yes, sir.
We will need a roll call on that one, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Caleb Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon. Norman Smith. Tracy Stepp.
Yes.
Jonathan Timpson.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Bright.
Yes.
Wilma Ball.
Yes.
Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdow.
Yes.
Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent.
In the matter of approving the tax transfers and amendments and waive the reading of the same for the county, I do want to say that this is for a grant through the sheriff's office, through the THSO. Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
So it's a $65
Mhm.
grant.
Yep.
And 45 for overtime and 20 for supplies.
Correct.
100% correct.
Yes.
Any more questions? Do I hear a motion to accept? Mr. Esslinger, Mr. Hudson? And we'll do a roll call on that one also, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Caleb Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon. Norman Smith. Tracy Stepp.
Yes.
Jonathan Timpson.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Bright.
Yes.
Wilma Ball.
Yes.
Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdow.
Yes.
Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent.
Thank you. Next on, is there anything from sanitation? Okay.
After the flood, we had a meeting with the landfill director, Mr. Hibbert, and we are glad to report that no assets were lost and the landfill is operating as normal.
I'd like to thank you guys for the hard work that you do at the sanitation board, and congratulate you on that, and the people also thank you. The next thing, was there anything for general meeting? Public safety, there has not been a public safety meeting as of yet, so I'm looking to schedule one of those real soon. The next on the agenda is purchasing.
They've not met, but I would like for them to meet. I do need them to meet, the purchasing committee.
Okay, so she's requesting a purchasing meeting. Okay.
Yeah, it's down, okay, so it's down on the agenda a little bit further, but, at the very, I think it's one of the very last things on the agenda. Hold on. Okay, maybe it's on. Okay, so I guess it's on. We're working on bids for disaster debris cleanup. That is a large bid. I'd like for the purchasing committee to be involved in the awarding of that bid. There will also be other major bids coming through that I would like the purchasing committee to be involved in, because these are big bids, so, if y'all don't care to meet on that, that'd
So, Heather,
be. Uh-huh.
do you have, who is on that? Because when I chalet today, someone called and she said, we don't have a committee as such for that it usually comes out of finance.
That was my question.
So I don't
No,
know.
I thought that
It's
was
not
one of
part of the
committees that-
regular committees that they appoint, put each other on. I know they're.
Okay, well, I guess we need to, or put
Yeah.
somebody on those
Yeah.
committees then?
I guess so, because we haven't done anything, and nothing's come from purchasing in a long, long time. I guess maybe they just, I don't know. But, yeah.
Okay, well, I need a purchasing committee.
Need a person.
All right, okay, so, I don't know, I thought it was 7 members of this board, but I could be wrong. Thank you.
So there hasn't been
So
one.
is that something we do tonight?
Do that? Do you want them to suspend the rules and appoint one
Suspend the
tonight?
rules and
Melissa, you good with that?
I don't know off the top of my head what is necessary.
Okay.
What it consists, who it consists
Yeah,
of?
what are the
Yeah.
requirements?
Yeah, I
So
don't
we
either, I'm
could
sorry.
wait,
yes.
is that okay?
Be waiting a month.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
For the brief to go.
I thought this was one of the committees that they appointed last
Let me look
month.
it up and you guys continue on and I'll.
Okay, we'll continue with that in a few moments. The next will be in the matter of a report from our county mayor. That's Mr. Mathis.
Don't have anything official or prepared to bring before you for voting or anything like that at this point tonight. I just was mentioned that I was sitting here thinking about how much has changed since we sat in front together last month. A lot of bad things have happened, but also a lot of good things have happened too. We have, in the midst of the worst disaster that our county has experienced in its history, since Tennessee was even a state, we had the three major rivers that flow through our county all achieved record flood states simultaneously. And our people have stepped up in a way that has made, I think, should make all of us proud. From the very beginning, we have conducted, I don't even want to count how many rescues, but by my estimation, I don't know how many people were rescued, but they're on board. We had everything from an individual that's trapped on a rooftop to 20 people that are trapped and can't get out. So anywhere in between, sometimes more. And just so everyone, just to make this a part of the official record, we did have 2 fatalities, unfortunately. However, it could have been a whole lot worse. The hundreds of people who call, and I say hundreds, I'll say, I think we can comfortably put it at over 100 people who call for rescue. Every single one of the people that we were notified of that needed rescue was rescued. Help poured in from the surrounding areas. We rescued, our people rescued folks by land, by water, and even by air. The Knox County Sheriff Department, we called them and said, hey, we called the mayor, Lynn Jacobs from Knox County, said we need air access because we got people we can't get to. And within, I would say, less than an hour and a half, it was almost immediate. They were in the air coming our way, and they were on the ground. They rescued, the number I've heard, 2 dozen or so people. 24, yes, sir. They rescued 24 people by helicopter that would not be alive today. Everybody pulled together, and then that continued for the next 36 hours. Everyone within 36 to 48 hours, everybody who was missing was accounted. Everyone that had called for rescue had been rescued. And then the county went on and pulled together to construct almost overnight, a logistical infrastructure that provided food and water to every citizen in this county. When the water was out, the power was out for over 5,000 people. When the water was out for the entire county, we found a way to get that done. And when I say we, I'm talking all of us. Neighbors helped neighbors, churches jumped in, everybody we were one. We experienced a unity that most communities they can't even dare to dream of. We had people come in from outside the county, outside the state to help us. And when when Missy and Director Esway and Ms. Reed and several others of us and the sheriff, when we go around checking on folks to see how they're doing around the county, we meet volunteers from outside everywhere from Pennsylvania to Colorado, Massachusetts, Maine, not Maine, excuse me, Michigan. Folks came out from Michigan that we ran into, and they all said the same thing. They said, your community is amazing. We've never seen a community that's pulled together like this. And that's something, and I was talking to Rick Hansen, and in his shop, when they were stopping to check on him, and he said the thing that's one of the most powerful things to me, and this is something I've repeated on 100 times, but he said, this is reminded us who we are. This is a reminder. You talk about Appalachian culture, and sometimes we lose sight of what that means. We were reminded of it over these last 3 weeks, and I'm so proud of that. And members of the CLB, Commissioner Miller, worked down at the Water Distribution Center. Several of you. Commissioner Hudson coming by the center, picking up water, taking it to people in North Carolina and encouraging us. Several of you stopped off and encouraged us. Commissioner Esslinger, you worked at the community center down there at the shelter. And several, I'm not meaning to short anybody, everybody pitched in. And so I just want to recognize the work that was done by all of our first responders, sheriff, have been amazing to work with, Director Esway, Nancy Hansel. You've all done in Bullet, Mr. Lane, you guys have been Macy and Missy, who stood by my side the whole time when we lived in that operations center for 2 weeks, essentially. Michelle Lane, stopping everything, stopping her business. I mean, she had no income coming out of her business, and yet she said, I want to help. And she turned around and turned one of her businesses that couldn't run because it didn't have any water, and started having people find volunteers. And I think that's a good way to end that, is volunteers. That's who we are. We're a volunteer state, and we prove that. So one thing that I would acknowledge and also ask that we have going forward is let's keep that unity. I think we've seen the things that we've accomplished as a group, as a county in the last 3 weeks have been almost miraculous. And if we keep that going after now and going forward, even after this is over with, then there's no limit to what we can do. We will no longer be a distressed county. We will be the model of the state of Tennessee in positive home nation. And again, I just want to thank everybody. And Ms. Duggett, where's Ms. Duggett? She's still here. I want to thank her for what she said, because she's absolutely right. We have a very challenging time ahead. We have a lot of very difficult decisions to be made. And what we're going to have to do is, it's going to take us continuing to work together, to be vigilant, to make sure we're making the right decisions for our people. And just like with the purchasing, with these, with the debris pickup, we're all about to be in this together, making some of those tough choices. And I would ask that we keep that that unity going. Let's attack the problems, don't attack each other. Let's remember that we're all in this for the best of the people of the county, the people that we love, people that we serve, the people who have entrusted us in the positions that we're in. So that's really all I have to say. I just want to get up and brag on everybody and tell you how proud I am to be a Cocke County today, and that's why I wouldn't, as tough as it's been over these last 3 weeks, I wouldn't have been any place else or been had any other job but where I was at, because that's the most challenging and meaningful work that I think most of us have ever done in our lives. So I just want to thank you guys, and thank you, Cocke County. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that. I appreciate it. And I just want to tell each one of the commissioners that I have the utmost faith in all of you for standing up for your communities, each one of you. And I'd like to thank the mayor. And I would also like to thank the Cocke County people. You guys have pulled together and you pulled this one, and I couldn't be more proud of you. And I thank you for that. The next is in the matter of a report from our county attorney. So she has nothing. In the matter of a report from any county commissioner. Okay, Mr. Step?
Yeah, I got several people ask me about the road department and all of our equipment in the county. Mr. McAllister, he's the leader.
Boy, would you care to step forward and everyone can hear what you...
At the time right now, nobody got hurt, nobody got killed. The water was coming up 2 feet a minute. He got everybody out of there, and at the current moment, we got 90% of our equipment back working. Yes. Is that correct? And they did that without any help from outside sources. They got our stuff back going, and the stuff that is what you call ruined, you're going to be able to auction off.
Yeah, there may be some pickup trucks in auction off.
But I just want to let everybody know that the county equipment is not ruined. We didn't lose everything. Matter of fact, they got everything going back, almost everything.
Yeah, we had 2 road tractors that got completely submerged and going to Virginia tomorrow to haul some more trucks that didn't work.
That's it. Thank you very
I'd
much.
like to compliment you, Mr. McAllister, on that, and thank you for your hard work that you're doing for the Cocke County people and the citizens of this great area.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next will be in the matter of a report from the Cocke County Partnership. Copies enclosed, and if someone would like to address us, Mr. Barton, that's you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to start out, Daryl's got a lot of updates on what's happening on the partnership with IDD. But first, just out of old business, I want to let folks know that we will have the interlocal agreement that we had talked about last meeting. We had some distractions, so we weren't able to complete that. But we will have that for this group to review once our partnership committee has a chance to give their input on that. But we will have that. We have not forgotten that. The second is for the Industrial Development Board. Chair Clint Hammonds is here as well. I'd like to come before the group and request the disbursement of our funds. And we have bills in the amount of $169,090.61. This is for work performed on the industrial park. It is excavating, the engineer, and then the company that does soil samples for those, and compression samples. We held off on coming to the board until, as I told everyone, until we're comfortable with our books. We are at a point where we're comfortable with what we have and what we know. There'll still be more, I obviously, once our report comes out. But this is for work performed. The IDB has met as well, and I think have been brought up to date on our projects and our progress. And so I come before you asking for that, and I'm not sure.
Could I get that total again, please, sir?
Yes, $169, $90.61. And we also have, I can submit, we have an accounting of all those expenses. And again, it's just for those areas of excavation and engineering.
So, sir, you're asking for us to release $159,090.61.
169, I'm sorry.
160.
Yeah. The northern, the
Sorry,
Boston
that-
accent. 169,090 and 61 cents.
Something we need to make that.
Where does the IDB budget stand right now?
We have 40, 50,000 in the bank. And this is, we get our money released, not in one lump sum.
I can't hear what you're saying.
So, we get disbursements released, as we ask for it. It's not one lump sum. So there's not a lot of carryover, from year to year. So I'd have that, and then,
Hold on just a moment. Any more questions for him concerning Mr. Bright, sir?
How much money have you taken in from donations in the night of Cocke County?
okay, so separate from this report, we have, last figure was 140.
Can I interrupt just a moment, sir?
Yes.
Mr. Bright, could we check on that in a few moments, please?
Yes, sir.
Can we go ahead and talk about the $169,090.61
Yes, that'd be fine.
that he is requesting us release to the partnership? With that being said, is there any questions, any more questions before we get a motion?
How much is still left on the, I mean, what do we still like on the grade work as far as money wise?
Grade
Where
work,
do we stand on, I mean, it's saying it's what this money's for.
yes,
Where are we as far as progress?
yes, so as progress, we
As
have,
far, I'm asking how much more we might spend on grade work for getting.
okay, so the 3 lots are done with this. We have,
one more lot to go, and that's funded by a TBA grant, and our match is 30% of that. We estimate it to be $320, but we think we can get that down, based on the lower bid, around $189.
so 189 would be for
How much is the match? 30%?
30%, yes, sir.
And that's for that last lot near the road. All projects are legit. They've been tested with these engineers. We feel comfortable with those, and as you all learned before, we actually have someone interested. We also have started, it's now advertised on TVA, so now we'll actually start getting interested parties for it. So, but thank you for that.
I have one more question for you. Could you give us an update before we vote on this about the infrastructure? When can we, before we build another path, what about the infrastructure, the sewer, the water, the natural gas?
Yes. You want to address that on there? I'll let you on
And
this.
then we'll.
The IDB board met last week. We met with our engineer. He estimates it'll take 3 months for design of sewer. The good news is, there's 2 ways to do sewer there. There's a pump station that could go into the line at 25B, or there can be a gravity flow line that goes all the way at the top of the park and then goes down and then would feed in direct to the wastewater plant, which is a good thing for that park, but it doesn't give you unlimited capacity. It gives you a large capacity that practically any employer would want. So if those funds can be transferred over You're probably looking at, with a contingency fee, a total of $2 million to get the sewer installed. That's a rough estimate. I would not know. It's just based on the engineer's estimate. I would not know until that went out to bid on construction or anything like that. But sewer has got to be put in there, three-phase power, got to be put in there at some point. The good news is, we do have someone interested in one of those lots already. We've had continuing dialogue with that person, and I have placed a sales contract in front of him. And they're waiting for final approval from Japan on that. So we are making progress there.
Okay, guys, with that being said, do I hear a motion to approve the $169,090.61? Mr. Stepp, Mr. Esslinger, and we'll have to do a roll call vote on that. And I want to thank you guys. I know you've worked hard, and I want to thank you for the transparency. That's something we've not had. It's hard to get used to that because we've not had it. So I want to thank you all for being a part of it.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Kayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Tiplin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
No.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
11 ayes, 1 no, 2 absent.
I want to thank you all again. So if you have, do you have anything else that you would like to bring before the?
Nothing that couldn't wait till next month, given the gravity of what's going on here.
I do want to say one more thing. I understand that there is a partnership meeting tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So that way there, next month, I'm sure that we'll get more information on what's going on. So thank you all again.
Would you like us to address Mr. Bright's?
Would you like to be addressed, Mr. Bright?
Yes.
Would you like, okay. Thank you.
I'd like to find what it told you received donation.
At the last estimate, donations were around $140,000. So let me explain to the process so that everyone can have some transparency. So whenever we were asked to set one up, we met with the folks from Sevier County who had experience with the wildfires. We put up a website. Any donation that was made electronically went straight to the bank, to First Horizon. Any donation that came in person, we had 2 employees sign that and provide a receipt to the person making the donation. We've got their name, address, email to provide them with thank you letters. We've also been in contact with Mountain Ways and another organization that was set up to collect money for Cocke County because we want to protect the integrity of the process and we will set up some sort of committee at the partnership's direction. And then once that is done, we'll also need to validate to make sure that people receiving funds were damaged, either as a business or as a resident. And we're going through the categories. We had conversations on Sunday with the staff of the people who did the Mountain Tough in Sevier County. So we're doing our homework on it so that we do not make any missteps whatsoever.
Anything else, Mr. Bright, that you would like to add?
I'd have to suspend the rules to make the motion that I want to make.
So do I hear a motion to suspend the rules? Mr. Bright has a motion to make, but we'll have to suspend the rules to do it. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules? Mr. Bright, I'm sorry. Thank you again. Was you wanting to introduce Mr. Hammonds to the Cocke County CLB?
If I could.
Yes. My pleasure to know Mr. Hammonds.
With the restructured IDB board, we have Clint Hammonds, who is the chair of that board. He's been serving for a while on the partnership as well. So he's taken over now. This is the CLB.
I'm just here to serve the community, so we'll do our best moving forward to put the community first and keep everything in check. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hammonds.
I do want to mention too, we had a donor come up from Knoxville, and he is going to be donating $1 million to this community as well. And he's asked the city and the county to put together a list, and then we will gather up and provide that information back to his foundation as well. That's not in our account, just so you know.
Any more questions for partnership? Thank you, guys. Okay, the next on the agenda in the matter of a report from the Priority Ambulance Service. Do we have a representative here? All the copies are enclosed. Okay, the next in the matter of a report from Cocke County Beautiful. Do we have any representatives that would like to address? Okay. In the matter of a report from the Cocke County Corrections Partnership Committee, that's the mayor, Rob Mathis. Anything? Okay, the next thing I would like to do, we're going to have to suspend the rules for a moment to address the legislative body for the public hearing that was at 5:30 today. So we'll have to vote on that property, the public hearing. So I'll need a motion to, that's Mr. Burdell, Ms. Blazer. Do we need a roll call or no? All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? Okay, so the rules are suspended. So I'll just read this to you. First of all, we'll need to vote in the matter of considering a request to rezone the property at 3380 Cosby Highway from R1 residential to C2 general commercial based on the recommendation of the Planning Commission. So any questions? If not, I'll need a motion to accept. That's Ms. Ball and Mr. Esslinger. All in favor say aye, please. Aye. The next thing, got that. The next thing in the matter of considering the zoning map recommendation. I'll need a motion for that one. Mr. Bright? I'll need a second. Ms. Ball? All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? Okay. We just put the meeting back to. So now we'll go back to our regular meeting. Thank you, guys. Do we have something on the lease agreements? Okay, in the matter of approving lease agreements, I think that's heavy. That's under new business.
Does anybody have any questions about the lease agreement?
I have a question.
Okay.
So, as I understand it, that the flooring has already been put in this.
Yes.
Okay. Where did that money come from?
Currently it's coming out of county buildings maintenance budget.
Okay.
However, to ease some minds, we have had multiple meetings this week with FEMA and TEMA. The leases and the maintenance of the buildings are covered under FEMA. If that helps ease.
For rental properties,
Yes.
we've not signed a lease on yet.
Yes. It'll all be covered. because these are displaced offices due to the flood.
Let me ask another question. Couldn't FEMA trailers be brought in and that be used as offices rather than?
Let's step back just a minute, Mr. Ford, and I respect your questions. But first of all, would the proper question not be who approved the building?
Yeah.
And if the Cocke County CLB did not need to approve this building, then I don't see why we need to approve the flooring. So I guess the question would be, who approved the building without it coming to the Cocke County CLB? Does that sound appropriate?
I'll ask that question.
Okay.
Why were FEMA trailers not used?
Okay, well, let's go to the original question in just a moment. Mr. Mayor, would you like to address the CLB?
And it's not the way that we would normally want to do business. However, when the floods hit and we had no place, there was no place for the county business to be conducted. Payroll had to be met. All the people who were fighting fires, rescuing people and all that, we had no place to operate out of. Neither did the Chancery Court had no place to operate. The mayor's office had no place to operate. Everybody in the annex had no place to operate at election. None of them had any place to operate. So we had payroll that had to be met on Monday. And so we had to, and I credit my staff for being able to be quick-minded and think and find a place. This was the only office space left in the city of DeWitt. Only office space left we could find. We put 5 offices into this space. Now I realize, yes, that we had to move on that, but it was, and the reason why the flooring had to be done is because it was unsafe. You went in there was mold that smelled like cat pee, and you couldn't work in there. And no FEMA trailers couldn't be used for this because we hadn't even engaged FEMA yet. And so our people have to be paid, the bills have to be paid, obligations have to be met, and the county, the county government has to continue to move, things have to continue to go. And so we had to make a judgment call. Now, that's why the lease is on here for y'all's approval or not. If you guys say, no, we're not going to approve this lease, you perfectly well within your rights to do that. However, it will then be incumbent upon the CLB to find a place for everybody to go and figure out how to pay everybody, especially if we don't pay our employees and we lose all our firefighters, our policemen, our folks who work in the courthouse, all those folks. I mean, if you really don't want to pay those folks,
What does that have to do with paying the employees is where you have an office?
There's no place to do it.
Payroll office.
We had no place to set it to do payroll.
Couldn't this have been a temporary operation till you got FEMA trailers moved in?
I don't think that FEMA trailers are for individual homes.
And they're also covered business trailers. I've got connections in Louisiana that go through this at least every year or two. They also provide.
Okay, after FEMA, okay, here's just for the numbers wise. FEMA covers 75% of expenses. The state of Tennessee covers another 12.5%. So it's costing the county $120 for the 5 offices that are in the location in a proper setting over here next to the elections, early voting. It's costing the county about $120 per month per office. That's not bad. It's a pretty darn good deal.
Then why does the lease agreement say,
$4,800?
One is $4,800 instead of $125 as you were claiming, and then the other one is $2,600.
Okay, what I'm saying is, that's coverable under FEMA. Yes, the total lease is $4,800. FEMA pays 75% of that, and then the state of Tennessee is going to pay another 12.5% of that. So what's left for us is a little over $500. I think it's $580, $570, something like that. But you divide that by 5 offices, it's $120 per month per office. So that's where that number comes from. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a question. And I don't know if rules change under like an emergency declaration through pay and all that. So if that did change, you actually did have the authority to do that.
We did. We had the authority to do what we did.
Okay, I understand that. Now, the other question is, we have to pay up front to get reimbursed from FEMA. It's not like we could write a lease for $125. We have to put all that money in there. We pay it up front. and then we submit it to FEMA or TEMA, right?
Well, and that's a part that we're figuring out as we go as well. I mean, we're all, the one thing is we're all learning this together. And we're
Right,
doing
I
what we
mean,
have
I'm
to
just
do.
saying, that's probably how it's not right ahead. We pay
have
it
to front load, it's
We
a reimbursement basis.
It's a reimbursement, yes.
and we get reimbursed.
Yeah, we'll get reimbursed, yeah. And there's some things that maybe don't require the reimbursement because you just have to say, you have to make sure that you have the 25, or in our case, the 12.5%. And a lot of that 12.5, because that's what we're talking about today, is they said you have to make sure that you have the county's share of that. So, again, we just engaged FEMA late last week, and then we started again today, picked that back up. So we're learning how that goes as we go. We're all everybody's doing the best we can. We're all learning this together. But that said, there may be some situations where you have to pay up front, but then there may be other situations where maybe not. And some situations where our share, most situations actually, is where our share. That's why we've been so saying keep track of your volunteer hours, keep track of what the engineers are doing for us. Because that's called an in-kind contribution. And FEMA will put a monetary amount attached to that. We can count that towards that $120 a month. So it could end up that those volunteer hours that people are doing up in Michelle's coffee shop pays for those offices for us. So yeah, it's some of the stuff is going to be up front, but as we get deeper in the process, that'll be less and less. I hope that answers the question.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand it, and we could be waiting sometimes in FEMA for months for some of these checks, so the ones, or years really. So really, the ones that we front load is coming out of our budget until we get it paid back in 2 or 3 years, right? I mean, and it could happen.
It could happen. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, that's the problem is we're on FEMA's time frame now.
We hear horror stories.
We've been, for the first 3 weeks, we were on our time and things went really well. So now we're on FEMA's, and I can't promise anything because it's out of my control.
Right, okay.
None of us can.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure that, like, when you did get that, you did have the power, since it was under an emergency declaration, without having to come to the CLB, you had that power by
Right,
law to do that.
we've done everything that we've done. We've been very careful, and also making sure that it still comes before you all for approval for this stuff. We just had to get something going because
Okay.
we had no place. Our folks we would not have made payroll. The employees would not have been paid. The bills would have gone unpaid. So we had to have a place to do that. That's all that happened. And then we still bringing it to you all for approval.
And Chancery Court, for example, courts don't, you can't be shut down for, but only so long, right?
When this, thank y'all, good to see everybody. Chancery Court doesn't come very much. That's a lot. We're of course equity, resistant court that probate, things like that. So this happened on Saturday. I was lucky enough to get into the office. On Friday night, we were watching the cameras. I was watching the front cameras, the other was watching the back cameras. We could actually see the water coming into the office. We could see it hitting the doors. We knew that it was going to be bad. We were on the phones with administrative officer boards trying to keep the servers going, which we were able to do that. We were here all day Saturday. Actually, Brittany was with us too. We were able to get in, thankful that they let us come in on Saturday. So like a ghost town down here Saturday morning. It was really devastating, and we got to see everything. That was really bad. And we got in there and started working. And I knew from the basement, where I've been there for 28 years, and Andy's been in that building a lot, and Colin's have too. Downstairs is horrible anyway. The conditions were terrible. We bring up files, sometimes we have a file, we have a mask on, we have gloves on, and you still have powder coming out of some of those files. It's how bad it was, even from the flood. So after the flood, it was just devastating. It was all the way 8 foot up into the ceiling. When I was there, it was like 5 to 6 feet. I couldn't go down in there. So I knew I had to do something because we're reporting record. We have to be there. We have to be there for when people need us. We can't close. It's like how do you close when you don't close? We have to do something. So I was in contact with Rob and Heather. So Sunday morning, I started trying to go look at what I could do, what I could find, because it was an emergency. I probably just like the rest of you and everybody in this room, we slept maybe 2 hours or 3 hours a night worrying about things and trying to figure out what to do. So what we did, I started going around. I called Walter Cole, trying to see if something free. Tried to call Jackie Owen, Commercial Bank, and Jackie said, Craig, I'm in worse shape than you are too, buddy. He said, we're drowning over here too. I tried to call Casey Kelly. Casey called me back several times trying to figure out the space for us. But he was in the middle of a disaster with Rob also. Artist Keys, I called Three Potatoes. I called Ryan Taylor, Charlie Mason, Steve Smith. Anybody that I had a connection with was trying to help. They're all trying to help me find a spot. And what's so good about us being able to find the spot and doing it, the two people that we lost in our community, their family is actually in my office, bless their souls, from Nashville. They were up here, and they need their services. So it's like we couldn't close. We had to be open some way. My chancellor was very good. He was here. He was down in the basement with us. He was Mr. Baxter. We had a meeting here, trying to keep everything going the best we could. Whoever imagined that something like this would happen to us. And as far as my rent goes, as far as what we're doing, when I took office 28 years ago, which is hard to believe, I used to be the baby here. Now, I'm not the baby anymore, but I used to be the baby. Watched a lot of you all around and other babies. And Mr. Chesteen was in office, and when I took over, there was hundreds of thousands of dollars that were taken. We just settled that case about 5 months ago, and I was appointed special master to hear that case. And when I heard the case, we were able to figure out that around $24,000 or something like that, where the county had paid in, we were able to return those funds to you. So we have those funds, which that's a very small amount. It's like Chancery Court. I figured it one time, we're not even hardly percentage of it. We're small, we're very small. But that's some funds we're going to put back into the budget also. And nobody, the chancellor okayed what I had done, nobody opposed that, so there's some funds coming in to help also. But it was just a terrible situation. But we had to open, and all that help answer your question on as far as Chancery Court goes. We might have answered any questions you all have.
Thank you, Mr. Wiles.
Thank you, Mr. Baxter.
Ladies and gentlemen of the CLB, I'm going to look at each one of you with a question. If the mayor's administration had the authority to make this decision, why do we need to vote on it? Because he had the authority to make the decision. Now, I'm asking you guys, nobody else. Each one of you. That's my question. Mr. Stepp?
I don't know, but it sounds like to me where you had to make the decision. There was no ideal decision. There was no perfect. You had to do it that day. We're not making a vote on to do it. We're making a vote on to retain.
And just so y'all feel, and I totally understand where everybody's coming from. This was an emergency situation, and when it's an emergency situation, you gotta make decisions. We made a lot of decisions in those first, in the last 3 weeks, that had to be made, many more life and death, both for the continuity of operations for the county, for life and death of our citizens. We had to make a lot of tough choices, a lot of quick decisions, and we didn't put any of them live. And I just want you to know, now that we've passed the emergency phase of this, just like with Finance Director Heather said, we're pulling everybody together now with purchasing. We're not looking to make unilateral decisions. We want to make collaborative decisions, good decisions for our county, that everybody has a chance to have some input in a say. Just like with the partnership, with the scholarships. They've got a committee there. That's why the partnership stepped up and we asked them we, the city and the county, both asked them to do it, because they're going to have representation from the city, the county, and the people helping make these decisions. So nobody's looking to be unilateral in this. We're trying to work together. But when the chips are down, you got to make a call, and we made a call. And so moving forward, things have calmed down, and we're going to be able to be more measured in this, what we need to be, because there's going to be a lot of money on a lot of big decisions to be made. But that said, that's why we're submitting this to you all. We want to work together, that's it. We made the call, so we're just looking to try to get moving forward and start getting this county rebuilt. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With that being said, do I hear a motion to, or is there any more comments or anything? Okay, Ms. Blazer.
Why are we doing 2 years for you all and you're 1, is that correct? What's the difference?
Again, this was the only available office space, and the person who owned it, that's all they would do.
So is there, I mean, I was reading, and I don't really see in the lease where, you know, we find more suitable that we can get out of it with a 30-day notice or whatever. I didn't see that in there. Is it in there? I've read through it, I don't see it. So are we all in for 2 years, no matter what?
I would imagine, my answer would be yes, because when you sign
Well,
a
sometimes
lease
you have
agreement.
those, it's, you know,
Melissa, would you comment on that?
yeah.
You can add it, but the lessor, the person leasing it to us would have to agree to it. And I have no idea if they would, like, to make the change to the contract, they would have to agree to put that in term.
Was Mr. Mayor, I'll address you on this, was when you all went into the lease agreement, was this discussed with the property owner?
Look, what I'm about to say, I take full responsibility for the decisions that were made, but I was in the Emergency Operations Center when these negotiations took place. I just told my team, hey, you guys do what you know is best, and I'm gonna trust your judgment on this. So that's it. It's not their responsibility.
I don't think anybody's disciplining you. I think everybody's appreciative, but I think what they're asking is when you locked into this 2 years, or we locked in for 2 years, I think that's the question. Is that right, Ms. Glazer?
Yeah,
Once
I
you're
mean,
locked
a
on,
lot
once
of
you
times
sign,
you
I was a
lease
part
it,
of
if
the
you rent
negotiations.
something, I mean, I understand
Is
it,
it
but a lot of times
open-ended
if
or
you
not?
rent,
That's
you
the
can give a
question.
30-day notice or whatever. I mean, just to me, with his being a year, this is 2 years, and it can go longer than that, I understand that. And I'm just saying, if we found something that was cheaper, can we get out of this or not? It doesn't look like
There's no term for
It's
that.
not
I
in the
mean,
contract.
a lot of times when you do a lease agreement, you can do that, you can get out, but you're gonna pay a penalty. And I would imagine, again, I don't know, but the person leasing to us would probably want some kind of cancellation thing. Now, they wouldn't do it for 2 years.
Mr. Mayor, you said that you didn't negotiate this. Who negotiated this, may I ask?
He would do a year on this, but he wanted 5,200 instead of 48 a month to do a year. And my thought process on this is the annex, if we clean it, it's gonna take a lot of time. If we don't go back to the annex, if we're doing Ingles, talking about building or remodeling Ingles, it's all going there, how long is that?
But we own the Eagles building, correct?
Correct.
Would it not make more sense, though, to utilize that asset than for us to do this?
Right now, it's being used for commodities, correct? And then, but if we're remodeling it to make it office space,
But is there not two more, beside of it, that
the school's on that.
the school owns it? I'm sure that they would give us a really good deal on rent.
Now, was your question, the school, I'm sorry, I don't hear very well, but was your
The
question
school system
addressed,
owns-
has the school been contacted? Is that what you asked?
Kind of, sort of, it sounds.
You contacted the
The
school.
school system's full with old Walmart. You can't use old Walmart, every office out there space is completely either obligated or getting remodeled for somebody to live in. So that, we've reached out to Casey Kemp.
We did.
Okay, so you have reached
Those were our
Yeah,
first
Okay,
calls.
okay, that's,
We actually called him first when we were starting trying to find things, but everything there was obligated in one fashion or another.
so all the school system, their spaces are obligated. Mr. Ford, did you have something to
I
add a
do
moment
have,
ago?
I know you have to have a place to operate. But we're looking at 2 years, so we're roughly, we're in $100,000 a year for the both of them. So what about doing a year, if you did a year lease and put the money into the Ingles building to take that money from the second year and start remodeling? Would that not be wiser?
What happens if we're not ready and you're moving the Ingles? Because we don't have the money right now to renovate Ingles.
But we have the money for this lease.
Well, it's a month by month versus millions of dollars to renovate.
But then,
The last time we checked, it's $6 million to renovate Ingles.
For an office space?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we've not done anything yet.
And FEMA will reimburse us
And FEMA will reimburse this.
before we die.
We've confirmed that with several FEMA representatives, just to make sure we get the same thing for all of them.
Nobody's getting accused or mad at anybody, we're just trying to figure out, the best, because we are representing the taxpayers here, so we're trying to.
Why couldn't we have called an emergency meeting, either at the high school, community center, something like that, to get this?
Well, I think, Mr. Wright, you're probably right on the meeting. However, I think the budget committee is where the meeting should be held. And if y'all have more questions concerning this, I think maybe an emergency budget meeting be appropriated here and let each one attend and ask the questions and then bring it back with the budget committee's decision. Do y'all think that's fair?
Yes.
Or do we just make a motion? If not, we'll
I will
see.
make
This is
a
where
motion.
I'm at. I want to say something. This is where I'm at. The county's a business, and we've got to continue business. Now, this may not be, the greatest deal in the world, but we still got to continue our day-to-day operations. And, I just hate that this is going on right now. I understand everybody not happy about the lease situation, and I get it. I'm probably not happy about it either. But I think we have to trust in the process here.
Okay.
If we don't trust him to make these decisions, then he shouldn't have been elected.
And there's
That's
not-
just the way I feel.
I really don't think that's the question.
Well,
Whether or not,
I'm just gonna make a motion that we
Okay.
pass this lease.
Okay, we've got a motion.
Oh,
Ms.
wait a minute, Mr.
Blazer,
Chairman.
do we have, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
one more thing, okay. Mr. Mayor, Heather, FEMA will do 75% work today. The state will do 12.5. Okay, 87.5%. Bottom dollar, what will this cost the county a month to operate out of these two properties?
Out of both properties?
Yes.
So you're looking at, okay, we'll just do the math, we'll just do it all together here, transparency, that's 2,600 a month plus 4,800 a month. So times, our share would be 12.5%. So times 0.125. That's $7,400 a month before, that's the
Before the A.
base cost. $925 a month.
So the question we have is, when we vote on this, can we live with that amount on a monthly basis?
Do we have an option? There's no viable option other than what we're talking about.
$24,000.
Okay, guys, with that being said, we got a motion on the floor by Ms. Blazer to accept the lease agreement. Do I have a second? Mr. Hudson?
Yes.
We'll do a roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Kayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bry,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassler,
Yes.
David Verdow,
Yes.
Tim Langman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, absent. Passed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak to you one moment and tell you that nobody feels that you're dishonest or that you're not doing the right thing. It's just that we're obligated to our people in our districts to do the right thing or do the best thing that we know to do. We feel like that you've done that. We feel like that you made a good decision and we're going to back you up. We just voted, so that should tell you that we're standing behind you, sir. And thank you for the hard work. Thank you, Miss Heather. And thank you for helping our community to move forward.
And on that, he's obligated to do the right thing for everybody too.
Yes, he is.
And I appreciate what you did.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, the next thing, in the matter of approving interlocal agreement between Cocke County and Jefferson counties for Cocke County use of the old jail located in Jefferson County, Tennessee. Is that right or wrong?
Yes, sir. We have to, even though they spoke of both of the leases together, we have to vote on them individually because they're separate documents.
Okay, we'll
Is that right,
get that
Mayor?
up. So in the matter,
Okay.
so we did the first one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll need a motion in the matter of approving the lease agreement for the space for Cocke County Chancery Court office at 301 Cosby Highway. And we discussed that, Ms. Blazer, Mr. Hudson, and we'll have to do a roll call on that too. And thank you for straightening me up.
No, that's good. Okay. Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Tiplin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassett,
Yes.
David Verda,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent, motion carries.
Again, thank you guys for making the right decision. We're back to 100%. Okay. Let me see.
Number 3.
I apologize. In the matter of approving the resolution authorizing the insurance of general obligation bonds of Cocke County, Tennessee.
Mr. Chairman, number 3 and number 4 are related. However, since the agenda had to go out, some new information has been released from the governor's office. They're doing no interest loans for debris pickup right now, so we're exploring that option, so these 2 items will not be voted on.
Number 3, Kevin.
Okay, number 3 and
Okay.
number 4. Thank you, Heather. Okay, we'll go to number 5. In the matter of approving a resolution authorizing the assurance of not to exceed 3 million FEMA certified disaster tax and revenue anticipation notes of the Cocke County, Tennessee.
These I would like approved if possible. This is $3 million. One, to go into general fund, landfill fund, and highway fund, $1 million each to keep operations going right now. With everything that's going on, tax dollars are flowing in slower. This is a loan from ourselves to ourselves. We're taking it out of the debt service fund. We're putting it in the 3 funds that are low on cash right now until taxes start coming in, and then we'll put it back in the debt service fund. So this is not an interest loan. This is just borrowing it from our savings account, basically, putting it in property.
Just moving it from debt services to
Correct.
general fund.
Correct. Yes.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to accept? Mr. Birdow, Mr. Hudson, we'll do a roll call on that also.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Caleb Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Tiplin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassett,
Yes.
David Verda,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent, motion carries.
We're good this time.
We'll go in the matter of approving interlocal agreement between Cocke and Jefferson counties for the Cocke County use of the old jail located in Jefferson County, Tennessee. Mr. Sheriff.
Wait a minute. What was number 6?
I thought you said she's finished.
We just did 5, right? Okay, we did 5. All right.
That's all she wanted to do, right?
Oh, I don't know. You don't want to do number 6?
5 and 6?
Those aren't mine. Those aren't mine.
Oh, okay. We just did 5. I don't know.
We'll do, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Sheriff, but I will let you speak. I promise. In the matter of approving PEMA license use agreement for the use of the Cocke County Recreation Department premises for the MARC Multi-Agency Resource Center.
This is, 6 and 7 are the same, essentially the same thing. They're just giving TEMA permission to set up in the rec center to help folks with flood relief. And the same thing for number 7 is the same thing but for FEMA. So they can locate, co-located there to help our folks. And again, apologies for not getting these to you all before everybody set up, but we thought it best for those folks to start getting help they need in that center. They've served, I stopped by there today, they've served over 1,000 of our citizens getting them FEMA help. $2.6 million has been issued from FEMA to our citizens as of yesterday to help rebuild their houses or replace their houses. And there's been a lot more money that's gone out from that. I've got the email, if anybody would like it, I can share that with you. But we've been getting some updates on that in Cocke County, thanks to getting that MARC Center set up and the quick action that, again, the way everybody here's pulled together. Cocke County is one of the top counties in Tennessee as far as getting aid to its people the fastest. And again, thank you all for that. But that's all this is just the agreement.
But they'll need to be voted on individually still?
I mean, yeah, I would guess.
Individual.
Yes.
Ms. Placer.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Ms. Placer makes a motion that we accept number 6. Mr. Miller seconded. I guess we'll do a roll call vote on that also, right?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Kayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassett,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Tim Lehman, Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, ayes, 2 absent. Motion
Okay, the
carried.
next one, real quickly, in the matter of approving FEMA license use agreement for the use of the Cocke County Recreation Department premises for the MARC Multi-Agency Resource Center. Do I hear a motion? Ms. Blazer and Mr. Miller. And we'll do a roll call on that one too, just to.
Okay. Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Kayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon, Norman Smith, Tracy Stepp,
Yes.
Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball,
Yes.
Rick Bassett,
Yes.
David Verdoff,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent. Motion carried.
Okay, we're going to try it again, Sheriff. In the matter of approving an interlocal agreement between Cocke and Jefferson counties for the Cocke County use of the old jail located in Jefferson County, Tennessee. Mr. Sheriff.
Any questions? $1 a month. It's a 1 month agreement. Okay, they can cancel that agreement, I think it's 30 days, they can cancel that agreement at any time. On this, you have $0. This houses about 60 to 70 inmates. This is the most this jail will facilitate. We have 28 females at the Justice Center, we have 28 inmates at Sevier County Jail. The goal is to open the old jail back up this week. Staffing is definitely an issue. We are having to hire individuals to be able to run this correctional facility upstairs. We will be moving our programs and our can crew, our work release, people like that back to this facility. Okay? The reason why we're doing that is we need to open up the workhouse to move all the females from the Justice Center back to the workhouse. Because right now, Sevier County and Jefferson County is paying for the aid of these inmates. Food, medical, and everything else. Obviously, that's not their responsibility. Okay? So once we can get them all under that roof and get this roof opened back up, we can go back to our budget and be able to maintain and control what we're gonna have to here. It's been a challenge. The transportation to court was horrible. Now, today was our first day back to court. You're roughly looking at 30 inmates that we have to transport to here, and that's tough. Okay? When you get them over here to court, you have to feed them based on their religion, you have to feed them based on their medical. So that's the thing that's hurting us right now. Okay? So we're coming up with a plan to be able to try to figure out how to take care of that. Today we got pizza. So they ain't allowed to have pizza, I guess they'll have to take the cheese off. But that's what we have to do today because we didn't know how that was going to happen. So, okay, we've got civil rights, we have federal law, and we have state law that we have to follow no matter what the situation may be. So inmates have rights, and employees have rights, and we have to remember, we have to go by what law says, not by what we think. Okay, and sometimes we don't want to have to do that, but at the end of the day, I don't want to end up in federal court because we violated somebody's rights. So we have to make sure that this is a big priority. Okay, so next month they can come to me and say, we're canceling this. What's your plan? Okay, so that's something that we're going to have to get together with correctional partnership, public safety or something, because I cannot guarantee you If it hadn't been for some sheriffs been very nice to allow us to use their facility, I don't know what would be. Now, I guess we'd still be at the rec center. Okay, because that's the plan. You go to the rec center and you guard 100 inmates. Okay, that's the plan we had. Thank goodness they had a jail open for us to use. But time is of the essence on this, because we don't know. They may start getting overflowed with inmates, say, you gotta go, we're going to have a jail back. So, definitely a problem, bad situation, and nobody in here asked for it. Okay, it's been a brewing thing for 20 years, 30 years, and something needs to be done. So, now it's happening. We've got to come up with a plan to fix it. I have physically been over here in this annex. There is settlement in the building. We are waiting on reports to come in. Had a contractor come in today to just talk and discuss certain things. Right now, if it's not a total loss, there's a minimum of $2.5 to $3 million to fix what's there. Okay? And the jail administrative office over here in the jail, which is the house that stores the food, the mats, the clothing, 4 administrative offices, a conference room, and a bathroom. Total loss has to be destroyed, tore down, rebuilt. So that's kind of things you're looking at on the jail standpoint of things. The structural engineer said we have to monitor the building for 6 months to make sure no more settlement continues, which means to make sure the building still not continue to fall. Okay, so that's things that we can't do. I can't put inmates back over here, and we can't put people back in those offices thinking, oh, there's an off chance the building may fall. Okay, so that, I'm not gonna do. So, we've got to make sure that building is sound enough to continue to keep doing what it's doing. But like I said, you're looking at work on $2.5 to $6 million sitting in that parking lot. Okay? And that's coming from people that know what they're talking about. Asbestos has been, it's going up, it's around the window sills. They found asbestos, obviously mold, growing up the walls. And that room out in the basement, I don't know that Chris Hogan guy very good, but that's his heart. That's the thing we've got to worry about is archives. But that's another problem we're going to have to deal with, because archives is required to fix, and that's another $200,000 to $300,000 that's required to save what's in the basement all the time. So, you got a tough job, challenges are ahead. We appreciate everybody that came out and been able to support everybody during this thing. As the mayor said, it's been a tough time. Okay, so just everybody continue to pray. Cocke County will grow stronger, but there's a lot of tough decisions that must be made, and unfortunately, we're going to have to make those. You know, so. Mr. Burton.
2 questions real quick. I understand the workhouse in Jefferson County is a certified building.
That is correct. We are working with Will Wall and Mr. Bass. Some people know Mr. Bass. DCI has been very, very open to us. They have met with the commissioner when it comes to the jail situation. We are planning on, right now, we're trying to get the kitchen up and going. Right now, like I said, Jefferson County's feeding our inmates. The kitchen should be up and going in the next 2 to 3 weeks. TCI will come in. We will get them to do an inspection. Then, as long as it meets the criteria of what they've got going on, they can recertify that jail under Cocke County, which means we can start getting state money, state funding, and start taking that revenue and putting it back into the jail budget or jail fund or whatever y'all need to do with that money. But that will be a plan that's coming. We just have to think it's maybe November, December, we have to go to Nashville in front of TCI. So, big plan. Hopefully it'll work out. But yeah, like I said, it could be recertified.
What is the mold issue in this jail over here? Do we have an issue right now with mold?
An annex over here?
We're on backwards, yeah.
Yeah, that's got mold over there in that building. But, yeah, the mold, they're still doing a lot of testing, the environmental stars, there's mold. I mean, I've seen the mold myself, I smell it. You gotta wear about 3 masks to go walk in that building, or it just stinks. The jail, a lot of more of the portion is the structure part on the outside, and water comes through the floor, through the sewer ducts, into the jail annex, and some of the water may come back into the back of 5 cell through the plumbing area. Of course, a lot of that's concrete. But fire alarm's out, we're still waiting on that. They canceled that right now because there's no need to spend $40,000 on a fire alarm right now to put over and just sit there and wait to see if it's gonna come on or not. Generator shot, there's another $40,000. You have to have a generator back in working condition before inmates could ever even look at our door back over there. But like I said, the main thing is, that stuff is reimbursable, like the mayor said, but when we go get the money, you gotta afford it up front. So,
Said they charge you $1 a month.
yeah, $1 a month.
Can we get that long term?
Hey, look here, I'll pay for that out of my pocket, and I'll send you the first for free.
Quick. What you threatening?
Who? No, he's took a few of my employees over the years, you know, and I put all that behind me. Yeah, he had a plan, and Sevier County had a plan, Loudoun County's got a plan, Loudoun County's going on the ground. But, you know, we just don't have to get it going. And I'll be honest with you, we're having to put people in place, and we're having to put positions in place to be able to cover the courts. As Craig said, the courts does not shut down because of the flood. So we're having to do things that we don't want to do, and we have to do that because we've got state law to follow, and we've got to make sure we do what we got to do. And it's like I promise, it's by the law. It's not by CJ's book. It's by law.
And I assume we're using our own COs at Jeff County.
We are in the workouts. We are. We have to send one to Jefferson County, which is what we're trying to do, is break them down and bring them over, or we can bring that one. That way we can go. This programs are important. These people that's in the programs, RU and rehabilitation programs, right now they're defeated because they don't get that in Jefferson County. So the main thing is get this up and going, because if we don't get them back in the rehabs and get them back in things they need to be done, that's going to fail them. So this is a priority for us.
Any more questions about Ms. Blazer? Okay, we're going to make a motion, Ms. Blazer, Mr. Burdahl. We'll just do all in favor, say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? There you go, Mr. Sheriff, and thank you for talking to people. Okay, the next on the agenda is the matter of the EMA director giving a report. Mr. Chairman. Oh, I'm sorry.
I apologize. Can you do a roll call about last year?
Yes, yes, we can. Hold up just a moment, Mr. Esway. We'll do a roll call on that last one.
All right. Andy Ford?
Yes.
Bill Miller?
Yes.
Caleb Blazer?
Yes.
Jason McMahon? Norman Smith? Tracy Steck?
Yes.
Jonathan Templin?
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger?
Yes.
Dan Bright?
Yes.
Wilma Ball?
Yes.
Rick Bassett?
Yes.
David Verdahl?
Yes.
Tim Lehman? Billy Hudson?
Yes, ma'am.
12 ayes, 2 absent. Motion carried.
Mr. EMA director, would you like to address, please?
Your Honor. I do not have a prepared statement. A statement will be made when the after-action reports are completed from this event, but I asked the clerk's office to put me on the agenda 10 or so days ago to answer any questions anyone might have about the first 3 weeks of this operation, so I'm ready for anything you might want to know.
Any questions for Mr. Esway? We're very much aware, Mr. Esway, of what you have done for the community, and we're very appreciative to you and your whole organization. The Cocke County people very much appreciate what you do, and I think I can speak for the CLB. We just want to thank you for the service that you've given and the hard work.
That's what I was hired to do.
Yes, sir.
Do we know how many total homes have been lost thus far? Or structures?
There are variations of loss. The property assessor has that intel though.
So we did preliminary damage assessments for FEMA/FEMA.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Good. We did preliminary damage assessment for FEMA/FEMA. It was over 100. I feel confident in saying over 100. We just now began the damage assessment for the property assessor side, and our regulations are a little bit stricter. I would feel better giving you a number next month.
Thank you, Mr. Esway.
Mr. Chairman, before we go to other portions, can we move back to the purchasing committee before we leave the disaster?
Okay.
So I found the requirements,
If you don't care, would you stand up so that everyone can?
for purchasing commission, it's 5 members, one of which is the mayor. The other 4 do not have to be members of CLB. They are appointed by the mayor. Obviously, they had no
prep time to see who you want to appoint. So if I may, perhaps it should be the budget commission, since it's the same amount of numbers and they're aware of the budget already.
So we'll need a motion to accept.
If you all are okay with that, then what I can do is just submit my nomination, and you can just put that nomination.
That's correct.
I'd like to formally nominate the members of the Budget Committee to be also serve as the Purchasing Committee. Purchasing Committee?
Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the Budget Committee as the Purchasing Committee?
Is this a standing committee? I'm sorry, is this a standing committee?
They meet as needed whenever they believe that they should meet.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Could that be, Mr. Mayor, this is addressed to you, could that be on the same day as the Budget Committee? Maybe just bring it up?
I think you could do it in very similar fashion as we do the zoning and the planning commissions.
Okay.
You just plan both at the same day.
Okay, very good.
I'll make a
Pretty
motion,
simple.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Hudson and Mr. Burdick. Do we need a roll call vote or no? All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Any nays? There you go. Pretty good. Okay, in the matter, I'll need a motion for this in the matter of change in committee members to the 5th District. That will change from Public Safety, Ms. Wilma Powell, and it will be County Corrections Partnership, Dan Bright. I think what they're doing is you're just swapping committees, is that correct? So could I get a motion to accept Esslinger and Hudson? All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Any nays? Very good. In the matter of Para from East Tennessee, supporting foundation to address the Cocke County CLB, that's Dan Bright, County Commissioner.
I don't think she's here tonight, Rick.
Okay. So, okay, all right. And the next one on the agenda is in the matter of the 6th District Commissioner, Rick Vassar, addressing the commission. I just want to address each one of you on something. Being a businessman of a long time, in 41 days from right now, we have no county attorney. I'm just thinking that you need to be aware of that. If you're not, you need to be. So with everything going on in our community and all the disaster, all the great people of this community, we need to know that we do need a county attorney if you need questions or answers.
I can address that, John.
Okay.
As you all know, it's my responsibility to submit an appointment for your approval. And I've got a few candidates that we're in active discussions with. That's not falling through the cracks. So we've got a couple of attorneys that we're going to be talking to, and I hope to have my recommendation submitted to you on the next meeting.
Very good, Mr. Mayor.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
can I ask?
Sure.
So I was actually going to address you guys tonight, but with everything going on, I didn't think it was really appropriate, so I'll make a speech next time. But I just want you to know that, I know that you're going through a disaster, you're rebuilding, so I'll be here for as long as you guys need me until the replacement's there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Melissa. Is there anything else that anybody needs to address the Cocke County CLB? Anything? Guess what, guys? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Hudson, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much, guys.
Which one? Yes, definitely.
Here? Kathy?